Attention gamers, the other day I logged onto League of Legends for a typical day of work on the Rift.
Wagwan.
Defeat.
But instead of following my usual pattern of asking for more pain, today was different. Why stay in this 15-year abusive relationship when there are other attractive candidates on the market? I needed a break and just had to decide on which game to play. A game that was made in 2008 before the era of ChatGPT tricking me into thinking I've been talking to real women was the game I needed, and just to double down on the amount of time I would be wasting by doing this, I would also be playing the hardcore version of the game. Which, outside of a word I type into many search bars, is also a mode of this MMO where if your character dies, you are done and all the time you've spent on it goes to shit. What could go wrong? I knew that a no-name who goes by Soda Papa or something would be creating a streamer guild with Mr. Kiff, which was clearly going well.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
I know. 3, does he understand? Does he f***ing understand? You're both at fault. You are both at fault. I do not give a f***. Why?
He is a coward buff.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm gonna go out.
And I figured I'm a regular to the big stream world, so I'd shoot my shot.
Who is this Rav guy? Is it the League Rav guy? I don't know who the fuck Rav.
I told him I was kind of a big deal in the most toxic community online, to which he said, bad player at this.
Alright, I've seen enough. This is good enough. Alright, Rav, you're in the guild. Welcome.
So it was set. Don't worry, during the days I will still be clocking my hours making League of Legends videos. After all, I need the Raid Shadow Legends bag, but at night I will be going by a different identity. A dwarf hunter, aka the class most associated with people who have room temperature IQs, but they get to tame a pet, and according to data only 1% of them actually survive until max level, so there was only one thing left to do.
Did he make it?
I spawn into what I can only imagine the inside of Charlie Sheen's nostril looks like, but I'm freezing my wet dick off, so I talk to my homeboy Sten, who is all like, prove you're not a pussy by killing a few wolves in the area and I'll give you a pair of mittens, which seems like a task and reward combo on par with my pledging a fraternity days back in college, so it should be a cakewalk. I popped my level up cherry in the process, to which it's customary to say ding in guild chat, and if you don't, you are doing it wrong. Everyone congratulates me, then homie Stan gives me my reward for euthanizing the ragged bitches. I picked up a cute dress in the process, so I was practically ready to start competing in women's sports. Then we got down to business. Some of the local lazy as fuck townsfolk were like, we've got one hell of a trog problem. Rumor is Donna, one of the old dwarfs, had an ugly ass baby decades ago and they just left it out in the cold, but its ugly gene mutated, the thing replicated, and now there's these little short ape looking fuck faces that the dudes back at the village don't want anywhere near their wives, and it was now my problem to deal with these ugly assholes swinging femur bones at me. I run into a few dudes who set up camp out in the woods. I'm thinking to get a little nuts to butt snuggling by the campfire, Brokeback Mountain style, but he whose last name describes his facial hair tells me he triple dog dares me to genocide the village of trolls over there. He says if I get close enough I will see that they are taller than us, fitter than us, and they sound Jamaican, so they are probably good in bed and he can't have them near his wife. But despite me being concerned over why all these dudes are so insecure about their sex lives, I oblige nabbing me a bit of a slaughter sesh. He's like, dope, fist bump, here's an axe, which would be cool if I wasn't a hunter, where 90% of my attacks come from my gun, which coincidentally is named the same thing I call my side chick's ass.
Think that's funny, do ya?
What the hell?
Anyways, I meet my first sensei. He teaches me how to poison bitches, among other things. I'm all like, wax on, wax the fuck off, homie, before I have my first interaction with a female. She wasn't the one. Then, after eliminating the population of nearly every race that could have sex with the native dwarves' wives, I just have to kill one last troll. Now, as a League player, I'm not accustomed to the idea of other players wanting to help each other accomplish a common goal, but I give it a go and invite them to my party.
There you go.
The assassination of Grick near the cold goes smooth as shit, and to that I want to thank these homeboys Sabur and Penis Veins for their assistance. But at this point I'm feeling like I'm growing out of my small town roots. I'm able to pull so many trogs at once I'm more outnumbered than a young Riley Reid on a casting couch, and after being
Okay.
able to finish each one of them off with ease I figure it's time to visit Sensei one more time, tell him I'm out this bitch and take my talents to the South Beach, or anywhere away from this cum dumpster wasteland of a starting zone. Turns out the only way out of my incest-ridden hometown is through some supposedly deadly tunnel, as every Tom, Dick and Harry is warning me again.
You're lying. You're a liar. That guy's a liar. Don't ever trust. A liar.
Against walking through.
I can't get through the pass myself. The trogs in the tunnel are extremely hostile.
So needless to say my ass cheeks were clenched going in. Turns out some bald Chad paved the way, and outside of running away from one ugly wife fucker, I don't see why that midget was so scared. Anyways, a streamer named after Deli Meats taught me that I can tag mobs and then have this 9 to 5 pencil pusher do all the work to kill them while I get all the credit, which is hashtag capitalism. As you can see, I exploited this dumb shit face for a while until he eventually caught on and stopped helping. The gamer in me flamed the NPC, and then instant karma hit as my first real fight on this side of the tunnel was looking like my last.
No! Run!
Not even close, baby. Then I hit the town, gave all the cousins their love letters from the pussies on the other side, and I was ready to continue my quest in the new land. Now, small travel tip: if you've never been to Curanos, don't. These were some of the most lazy drunken fucks I've ever met. They had me running around doing dog shit errands for them, like picking up the box of condoms that innkeeper Boleyn left at the campsite. Real boring stuff, and I was planning to leave and hit up that forest with the tall chicks when I saw the most beautiful piece of ass in a Yeti cave.
Sarah!
It was instant chemistry.
Oh my god, that's huge.
That is
Bro, I can't wait to watch episode. I can't wait to watch this next episode. I had caffeine up.
until she got some of Daddy's bag, and then I was practically invisible to her, so I knew just the way to get her attention. Put myself in danger in a one-life version of the game, so she has to save me. It didn't work, and I've deemed tall Queen Sarah a gold-digging bitch because of it. Anyways, I met a dude named Tundra who had a tall ass. He left a box of nudes in a cave, and now some perverted elite Yeti was puppy guarding them. As a level 8, if something like this even touched me, I would be dazed, dead, and dicked over with a pissed off Papa Soda to report to, so I really only had one option. But I had a plan. That's right, even a random normie whispered me in amazement of my raw masculinity, and let's just say the box of Tundra's nudes was secured. Now, to all the women in my life who said I was awful at finding that right spot, I'll have you know that when it comes to getting beasts to the literal perfect pixel where an NPC will do my work for me, I was a pro. I had my first run-in with a Chinese bot who stole a chest from me, and then after more mindless questing I hit level 10, which to those of you who didn't waste half your childhood playing this game is a big deal for hunters, because it means you can learn how to domesticate a beast to be your pet. First, you have to prove yourself fit to be a father to Sensei by adopting a few temporary bastards, which is kind of like in middle school where they give you that crying doll as a lesson to teach you to use condoms, and in some cases here I even had to deal with the jealous best friend. Once I proved myself a responsible parent, it was time to find my soulmate, and I already knew what I wanted. A fucking pig. I named my big black pig Howie, and with that, a new lifelong adventure was about to blossom. A short King Ginger, and the thing that would ultimately be responsible for wiping the guild in a raid. Attention gamers, previously on my break from playing one trash game, to playing another trash game, I made a dwarf hunter without eyelids and applied to join Sodapoppin's guild, consisting of some of the internet's biggest streamers, some of the most famous pairs of paywall tits, and some other incompetent bumbling muppets.
You actually killed me, you
My new friends were initially hesitant to watch my journey.
Join Sodazar's OnlyFans guild. Here's the first episode and documenting the journey.
Oh god, Rav made a video.
Attention gamers.
Are we watching this?
But they all left episode 1 a satisfied customer.
Bro, this is such good editing and such a good script, man.
I spawned into Coldridge Butthole, defended the local dwarfs against the ugly evolved Harambes trying to bang their wives, and completed arguably the hardest challenge in hardcore WoW, making it to level 10 on a hunter. I enslaved a black pig named him Howie, and together we were ready to continue our journey, as the only Fangs Guild member to still not have received his invite to the f***ing guild Discord server. Me and Howie were now ready to tear this Narnia wasteland a new asshole when I realized I was missing something. Turns out these entitled swine can actually run away. This just pissed me off, and I knew things would have to change. No more cute nicknames for my kids, no more soft parenting. As someone who grew up in the 90s and is now playing an old dated version of World of Warcraft in his 30s, I'd say I turned out fine, so nothing but tough love for my pig son moving forward. I made him kill his family as punishment for my first son leaving me. But I soon found out I have to keep these stupid animals happy by feeding them, and apparently the only way to do that is to go into this Lord of the Rings looking man-made mountain asshole to visit Bella, a California 2 out of 10 at best, to teach you how to put food in your little fuck's mouth.
You will now be able to feed your pet.
She also taught him how to growl, which meant that no beast would ever attack me again.
Bruh.
Turns out, similar to me having abilities, these swine flu spreaders can learn some too, except the process to get them is the most convoluted bullshit ever. You have to pay to put your own child in daycare, then you have to do research on what wild animals can teach you skills, as if this is some religious Avatar The Last Airbender bullshit lore. So I finally find a bear and start to tame him so that I can learn. Then I have to find a whole different species to tame so that I can teach my own remedial child how to bite, and apparently the only type of wolves that know this are the starving kind who have watched way too much Mean Girls movies growing up that they only patrol in groups. I had to execute 200 IQ strategies to divide and conquer the group straight Napoleon
I made a coffee. Big
style, kill off Regina George, and then ultimately tame the orphan basic bitch all so that it could teach me bite and I could train Howard. Except for the fact that he didn't want to learn bite and he was too stupid to learn claw. I had to build something called loyalty level before he would use his fucking mouth, so I made him genocide his entire family. Every time he would be hungry, I would feed him the meat of his dead relatives until finally, the walking piece of bacon learned how to bite. So in 45 minutes of making zero progress on my own journey, I taught an entitled pig how to bite. Great game design, Blizzard. Now if you paid attention in history class you know about the famous shot heard round the world, but if you didn't, it sounded like this. And this. And this. And I was sick of my ears bleeding after only 11 levels of this, so I made a deal with a pig-tailed midget to send me to the land of the big sexy elves, where this tall drink of milk taught me how to use bows so the classic WoW ASMR could commence.
Sweet and sour sauce on my pussy.
She also told me a chode with a seemingly made-up name in the Forge of Irons can teach me how to hold the big axes, so I made a quick stop at Bullywhiff's place on the way home. Supposedly there's a sophisticated subway system in this game that is safe as long as you don't make eye contact with the homeless hoodlums down there, and the ride is full of dank scenery. This took me to Goldshire, the town known for being the biggest hangout place for players, for its appearance in a South Park episode, and for housing the most cringeworthy role-playing scenarios. But as I was just taking Howard for his morning walk, because I now know that little shitter will run away if I don't give him a good life, I stumble across a wanted poster. Hogger, I barely know her. Hogger is basically the final boss for most 9-year-olds' WoW experience. There's only 55 creatures who have more kills to their name, and while I wanted to ask for help, I know some guy with perfect hair on the internet would say something stupid about glory if I did, so there was only one thing to do.
Oh shit, not good.
Bye-bye, Howard. Never mind, Hogger's dead. Big.
I officially beat World of Warcraft. But turns out Hogger has jack shit on the concept of caves when it comes to casualties in this game. The problem here is you can just walk and dip your toes in the murder scene for a bit and then you turn back around and guess who's back?
Here's Johnny.
Many great men before me have failed here, but the guy in town needed those boxes of Hillary Clinton's emails and I'm not a pussy. Side note, if you run into me in the world and don't pet Howard, you are essentially dead to me. Anyways, after a bit of casual everyday small talk with the normies, I was on my way. But here's the thing, I was here, which is here, and I needed to get here. This meant the next hour of my life would consist of running through
Walking
tunnels
simulator.
and crossing very dangerous zones. At one point Howard fucked around and most definitely found out. Hashtag perfect parenting moment. This brought me to the wetlands, which is not only the perfect way to describe a room of women when this chode ungroomed budget Ed Sheeran walks through the door, but it's also a deadly place for anyone my age to walk through. Thankfully hunters are easy mode, so I had the thing that tells me when I'm about to drive by a cop. Plus I was nuts to butts with this big piece of eye candy the whole time, so I made it with ease. All that was left to do was board the Mayweather, put on my Christopher Columbus cosplay, and I would arrive in the wrong fucking city. After a totally not frustrated Google search, I found the right boat. And with it we were at the shores of darkness. Now I guess word got out that a voiceless, faceless League of Legends YouTuber would be making a documentary on this guild's journey, and now all these big shots started joining. They could have made a movie about this man's death in hardcore and it would have sold more copies than Barbie. Then we had Ozzy, a man who knows both the feeling of reaching max level and also dying at max level because he can't keep his damaged dick in his pants. Turns out the seasoned fame boys of HC WoW have something known as streamer bennies, while they tag mobs and then have multiple max level characters kill them at just the right point to give them full experience, resulting in a highly calculated, super optimized, efficient way to level up. All while I just spent the last 6 minutes wondering who the fuck is dying to a school of fish. But yeah, some of these streamer Benny strats looked insane. I saw one dude and his friend going full blown Hitler on some harpies, and this hidden tech got him to level 18 in just over 4 hours. I felt like I was going pretty fast as a level 14, so I had to compare. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what was holding me up in terms of leveling speed, but the good news was that I was in Darkshore. This place breeds easy quests like Los Angeles breeds porn stars who failed at being actors. You just tickle a few beached whales, tell this bridge chump that his dead wife doesn't want to see him anymore. And it is just an XP orgasm while you are here.
Bro, we need to get into hardcore WoW. After this league journey, we'll try it a bit. I'm actually really good at WoW.